Once the penny drops for people, what we've built, we've created an alternative system. If the banks had to close their doors today, we just carry on. Everybody signs up as a member of One Small Town tomorrow, and we just start interacting.
Hello, it's the Mark Attwood Show, Adventures in a Cosmic Suit. How's it going? I hope you're well and enjoying this wonderful salvation of humankind. I am an apocalyptimist. I did tell you that, right? You know what that means. My awakening journey has been a kind of lifetime thing. You can see this thing behind me that I made for the show, which contains UFOs, pyramids. I think Bill Hicks is in there. Royal Raymond Drive, I can see. Angela Merkel as Hitler. That's kind of the inside of my head from about 4 years ago. Part of the journey has been amazing, and there are some iconic moments in my own kind of bing. And one of those I just want to share with you before I introduce today's guest. It was when I watched this video. It must be 10 years ago. I can't remember exactly what it was. But this is Michael Tellinger next to a giant footprint in South Africa. And this is when I watched all of Michael Tellinger's lectures on ancient history, because I think he was an ex-musician that went into ancient history and found Adam's calendar, which is the biggest clock in the world, and 3 cities, he might correct me on this, 3 cities in South Africa had bigger footprints than London that were full of ancient technology. And this is one of the big missing pieces to what's going on in the world right now, because if you don't understand the past that's been hidden from us, how can we possibly move forward? And one of the things that's inspired me the most about Michael is that as I followed him over the years, he took the South African banks to task over their illegal mortgage system. And I believe he stood for president of South Africa once as well. But he's always been solutions orientated, and he's got this amazing idea. I did interview him about this about 3 years ago, called One Small Town. And I want to see where that's going. And also he's coming to the UK for a visit, and I wanted to make sure that all of my viewers knew exactly who he was, what he was about, and if you can get to the UK, we'll get there. So please welcome the amazing Michael Tellinger. Hello, sir.
Hello, Mark. Lovely to see you, and great to be with you on your show again. It's been a while.
It has. Was I factually correct with all of that? Because sometimes I do these things without a script. So
yeah, shooting from the hip is good. So let me just get some slightly more accurate facts into that. So that giant footprint is a lone footprint. Yeah, it's obviously a footprint, and mainstream archaeology still argues that it's just natural erosion. God bless them. And yes, I did take on the banks in South Africa. That was in 2010. It lasted 3.5 years. It was from 2008, 2009 when I started to discover the whole banking fraud and the central bank fraud and the all that kind of stuff, creation of money out of thin air by our central banks, and that led me down this path of trying to figure out a better solution for the world. I then discovered the ancient civilizations of Southern Africa through the introduction of Johann Heine, who discovered Adam's calendar. He discovered it and introduced me to it because nobody was paying attention to it. And then literally within 6 months, I wrote the book Adam's Calendar, praising him for his discovery, but exposing the deeper meaning of the calendar, which is we now know that it's more than 300,000 years old. And the calendar is the flagship among millions of ancient stone circle ruins that clearly point to an ancient vanished civilization that once lived here in Southern Africa. Whether it was a civilization or whether it was something else, that's a whole different discussion. But there's more than 10 million of these ancient ruins, stone circles without any doors and entrances. It turned out that these are all energy generating devices. And among the stone circles, I picked up and discovered many tools and artifacts of which there were very clear energy generating devices and advanced tools, ancient advanced technology and advanced tools. I actually have two of the Taurus stones here. We can go into that in a moment. and the cone-shaped tools and magnetrons. And I started to realize, oh my goodness, this is all to do with sound resonance and frequency. Whoever was building these ancient stone circles knew all about sound resonance and frequency, and they were mining gold on a gigantic scale, a scale that nobody could have imagined. And so this is all interconnected into my study and research that I wrote about Enslaved Species of God, and about the origins of money, the true origins of money, where money came from about 4000 BC, when we first see the first appearance of money. So this is all interconnected. You see, because some people might know me from the One Small Town initiative, some people might know me from the Ancient Ruins initiative, and they say, well, how do the two connect? Well, in my reality, in my life, they're inextricably connected. The one is interwoven with the other, because the knowledge that I gained from discovering the origins of money led me down a path to try and figure out a different system in which we are not slaves and enslaved by money. And here we are. I've got a fantastic museum filled with tools and artifacts here in Little Waterval-Boven, our little town in South Africa. And at the same time, we're busy launching the One Small Town initiative, which is taking off around the world like crazy after almost 20 years. And it's obviously an idea whose time has come, and this is the time right now.
Well, thank you for filling in the gaps there. I do kind of. I was just thinking as you were talking how much of my conversations have been littered with Michael Tellingerisms. Like when I first saw you ring the bells, ring the stones like bells. I was like, oh, it all makes sense. It's just these little moments that can trigger the next thing. So you viewers, if you haven't watched Michael, where can they watch all of these? Is it all on YouTube, or have you got them all your lectures?
Most of it is on YouTube. Yeah. I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. Just find me on YouTube. It's not difficult to find my channel. But I also have a private video channel that I put more detailed documentaries and things that I can say, which YouTube has censored a lot of my work. It's actually quite crazy that they do that. So we had to create a private channel where I can talk freely about all kinds of stuff and not be censored by YouTube. So you'll find it on my website. If you go to michaeltellinger.com, it's my main website that deals with the ancient civilizations. And then you'll see the link for my private video channel. Otherwise, the One Small Town, obviously, that's a huge global movement now that's got its own website, which is onesmalltown.org. And that's really why you and I are talking today.
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure that my viewers were completely aware of your background work, because I do think, as you say, that it is totally connected to all of it. So this is where you can go and get Michael's books, michaeltellinger.com. I'll put a link below the video. And it's amazing work, and I can only thank you for everything that you did. And it's also, this word Ubuntu, which means if it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I've been quoting that for years as well. I've just not seen it in a while. But yeah, it's One Small Town.
So we have, Mark, we have a lot of followers and supporters that have been with me for pretty much since 2007, that have grown out of Slave Species of God with me, my first book in 2005. Then when I started the Ubuntu movement, and that led into the taking on the banks, and that turned into the Ubuntu political party. We ran in 3 elections, 2012, 2014, and 2016. And yes, you're quite right. I did run for president in South Africa in 2014. And by 2016, I realized that politics is a crooked game. It's a system of opposition. Why would you want to be in a system that the moment you become a political party, you oppose everybody else? And the Ubuntu movement is all about working together, uniting, cooperating, collaborating for the greater good of everyone. So I realized very quickly that politics was a dead end, and there were no solutions coming out of politics. The moment you enter politics, all you do is you start arguing and confronting the other political parties because of their views. It's a terrible system. But that's what gave me my knowledge, and that's what gave me the background and a true deeper understanding about all these things and the interconnectedness of it. So when I talk about politics, believe me, I speak with some experience. Which some people may not always know. Why do you talk about politics? Because I was in it. I know how it works.
Yeah. Well, you say it's a terrible system, but for them, it's genius
Oh
because it
yeah,
just keeps everybody busy,
yeah,
distracted. It's extraordinary.
yeah.
So, one small town. I've been trying to explain it to people that will listen for a number of years. Can you sum it up now? Because I know you've been through quite a lot of transformations with it, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper the more you go into it. But it's actually quite a simple idea, isn't it?
It's a very simple idea. Just so before we even start talking about that, just to remind people, we're doing this interview because I'll be in the UK, I'll be in
Yeah.
England. I won't be in all of the UK or Great Britain. I'll be in England, in the north of England, and in the south of England. In the north of England, I'll be in Buxton. On the when is that? Sorry, let me just open my
I think I think
my
I've
notes.
I think I've spoken in that venue. It's right next to the theatre in the middle of Buxton.
Yeah, 29th of June, I'll be in Buxton. And if you go to either my website or the onesmalltown.org website and go to the news page, go to onesmalltown.org, go to the news page, and you'll get all the links where you can book your ticket. And then on the 5th of July, I'm in Dorking in Surrey, that's further south. That's on the 5th of July, and all the details for the bookings and the venue are on the website. Just click on it and make your booking. So that's let's get that out the way, so people know more about this. And yeah, the One Small Town initiative. Oh, thanks, Mark. You're on the ball. I'm so impressed with how you handle your live interviews. It's very, very switched on, man.
Well, I do my best. But yeah, this website, you just go to onesmalltown.org and then click for the news and updates and scroll down. You'll see where you can get the tickets for Buxton and Dorking in Surrey. For personal reasons, I won't be able to make them, unfortunately. But I did get asked maybe I'd zoom in on one of them or two of them, but we'll see what happens on that.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. So One Small Town, in essence, is an evolution of people's desperate desire to be sovereign, to feel that they are in control of their own destiny, that they live in a community where they know everybody else, where people know each other, respect each other, honor each other, love each other, and take care of each other. What one would often call an intentional community. We've heard of people starting intentional communities all over the world. This has been going on for years and years and years. But there isn't a single intentional community that's created a success that could be a role model for others to follow. All intentional communities, from the very famous ones, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to, offend people, to the small intentional communities that people try and start on a farm or in a big, whatever. People buy a farm and think we're all going to live together and grow some food. Well, it's good luck to you, buddy. If you think you're going to feel that you've escaped the rat race. It's unfortunately not how it works. So the One Small Town initiative is really an evolution of that kind of thinking and putting together the pieces of the puzzle of how can we create an intentional community or people that want to work together, want to cooperate, collaborate, so that it works, so that it doesn't fall apart, so that there's structure, there's accountability, there's a reporting system, there is a plan of action, there's project management systems, there's accounting system, there's business plans, there's a vision, a short-term, medium, and a long-term vision as to what we want to do for ourselves. And that's how it evolved. It's been a really extremely exciting, but also tiring journey of discovery, to discover what doesn't work and then finding ways of not doing what doesn't work and finding new ways of doing things. So it's, in essence, it's people in a small town. That's why it's called One Small Town. We don't take a piece of land or a farm and say, oh, we're going to build some houses and pitch some tents and we're all going to live together. No, we're not doing that. We're not creating new communities. We're using existing towns, existing communities, because everything is there. The infrastructure is there. The houses are there. The halls are there. The churches are there. The sewage is there. The plumbing is there. Everything is there. We don't need to start from scratch. We just need to change the way we interact, change the way we do things, change the way we work together, cooperate, collaborate. Instead of competing against each other, we start to cooperate and collaborate. And you join the One Small Town initiative, and the only thing you have to do is pledge to contribute 3 hours of your time per week to be an active compliant member. 3 hours a week. Now, at first, it sounds like how can that work? It's nothing. 3 hours a week, come on. But when you look at the numbers, in a town of 10,000 people, if everybody contributes 3 hours a week, suddenly you have 30,000 hours of free labor a week from us, our members. 30,000 hours. That's 120,000 hours a month of free labor. If you equate that to a large company that has to pay that to people and laborers in wages, you're talking, I don't know how much it is, do the numbers, but it's like £1 million a month or more. So suddenly you turn your town into a company that is equivalent to a company with the number of laborers that they have to pay £1 million a month labor bill. Whether it's million or more or less, doesn't matter. You get the drift, you understand. So in essence, by working together, by cooperating and collaborating, we turn our town into a business, a proper business with a structured business mind, focus on achieving outcomes, achieving success, starting businesses that belong to us, the community.
Yeah.
And that's the other key thing, is that every business that we start, we identify the business opportunity, we write the business plan, we put it on the One Small Town platform, which I'll talk about a little bit in a little while. And the platform manages everything for you, for your community. And so there's accountability, there's project management, everything is on there. There's a distribution of the profits and all that. So we come up with ideas, what we want to do in our town, then we implement it, and then we make sure that we put the best possible management team to run that business and that company for us. We're the 60% owners, so we as the community will never own less than 60% of that business that we start. We keep 40% or 30% open for outside investors in case we need investment, but the investors will only always have 30% of that business. So we always remain the majority shareholders and business owners of every business we start. That changes everything. So it stops small towns from decaying. They'll stop decaying. We'll start bringing in exciting innovation, an infusion of investments and funding into exciting businesses, and that town will start to grow in every different aspect, in all the different sectors. And I always try to promote agriculture and food security as a point of departure, because that obviously is a very, very important point for us right now with the attack on farmers all over the world. So I don't know if I described it well enough for you.
No, I think it's fantastic. And there's a lot of questions popping up, and people watching this will be saying, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? Let's go back to the 3 hours, right? So I've been quoting that for quite a few years. We haven't had many conversations in the last few years. I was quoting it originally based upon this concept of the town becoming energy independent. And back in the day, we were talking about free energy devices. And I think a lot of people watching this will be like, yeah, what's going on with all of that, Michael? Because that was, I've traveled around the world looking for people building Tesla devices and all of that kind of stuff. I've actually met recently somebody that says he's built one and it's running very well in his house. And I'm like, why can't we just get these things out there? Because that idea of having some sort of energy within a town, and then I'll just keep it as brief as I can, because I think I said to you on the phone the other day that this town's a great example. There's a river running through the middle of this town. The turbine technology now that you can plug into the banks of the river, the whole town would be powered really, really easily and cheaply. Everybody could own it, and they get that free energy in exchange for the 3 hours. And then when I've said that to people, they've gone, that's a really good idea. And I go, I know, isn't it? It's so simple. And then they can suddenly see. Even my daughter said it the other day, because I was talking to her about it, and she said, well, the town would be amazing. You could get all the walls fixed. You could get the roads fixed. It would look amazing, and everybody would know each other again. Because where I am in the west of Ireland is a great example, because it was like that 12 years ago, 15 years ago, where nobody locked their door. Everybody knew everybody. Nobody even locked their cars. But now there's alarms everywhere. There's CCTV cameras everywhere. And the same as the village I grew up in England in the 70s, there are fences everywhere. There were no fences before. There were walls everywhere. My aunt and uncle, who I last spoke to a few years ago, said they don't know their neighbors anymore. Whereas when I was a kid, I mean, this is like cliche stuff about when I was a lad, but it's true. You know, people would literally come around for a bowl of sugar. And,
Yeah.
you know, everybody knew everybody and everybody helped everybody. And that has definitely been part of the social engineering away. But in this town in particular, there was a mill here. They redirected the river a while back, and that mill had turbines in the riverbed until 1966. And the whole town was electrified by this one mill. And then it got taken over by the central body for electricity. And I did a small video the other day. I got the maths wrong, so I took it down. But on the video, I was trying to say, apart from the free labor that you've mentioned, there's also like how much a people, you know, the average electricity bill here is about 1,200 a quarter. So it's about 300 euros a month, which is 3,500 euros a year. And that's a significant proportion of most people's income. And if you could do that, that simple idea is the one that really catches fire. But what about the free energy side of this? Can we talk about that today, or is that still
Yeah.
part of the plan?
Yeah. Look, what you brought up, Mark, was originally the simple idea for One Small Town. However, the moment you start talking about electricity and providing our own free electricity or our own electricity that we as a community own, you run into a whole bunch of logistical and legal problems.
Yeah.
And this is why, you mentioned there was a wheel in the water there that generated the electricity. That's how pretty much all the towns around the world were generating the electricity. In South Africa as well. Or, 100 years ago, 120 years ago, most of the small towns in South Africa already had their own electricity from water or from other means. It's crazy. And you can still see the remains of many of these water turbines and hydro turbines all over the place, but it's destroyed on purpose so that they can take central control. This is globalization on a local level, right?
Yeah.
We have to control the electricity so we can control the people. And this is, once you know this, then you realize which direction we need to go. And again, you can't start talking about electricity without raising red flags. And that we learned very quickly the hard way. What I can tell you is that, and I don't want to get stuck on the free electricity thing, because that's not what we're doing right now. We
No.
have so many more exciting channels and things that we're developing, technology that we've just finished developing right now. It is running, it's working. We're about to start multiplying that around the world, coming to the UK as well with it. And I'm talking about recycling technology that covers so many bases, which includes the generation of electricity. I'm not going to go into too much detail of that, but people can read all about it on our website. We've just launched our technology token as One Small Town for people who want to participate in the financial benefits and the commercial benefits of this technology that we are developing and launching. We've got at least 10 or 12 other mind-blowing technologies that we're now going to move on to. We're doing one at a time because, the other lesson we've learned, don't juggle too many balls. Because unless you've got millions and millions, possibly billions of pounds, you're going to crash and burn. So focus on one thing, get it done, get it out, move on to the next one. So that's what we're doing right now. And I must say with unbelievable success. So the free electricity thing, unfortunately, the inventors of these energy devices are the obstacle. The inventors are the obstacle. Over and over and over again, it is always the inventor that causes whatever negotiations you do with them to collapse, because they're either too stupid or too naive and too ignorant, and or they're too bold and they go out there and then they get shut down. So we know what's going on out there. We know that the moment you start working in the electricity field, the red flag goes up and all eyes are on you, and the energy giants will do everything and anything to shut you down, including getting rid of you. And that unfortunately has happened on a few occasions with some of the inventors I worked with. So we've got other solutions, and that's what makes this time right now so exciting. That in a roundabout way, we've come to be able to provide our own electricity, our own generators, our own energy generating systems, without having to look for free alternative energy devices. And it's divinely guided. I keep saying this entire journey for me to get here after almost 20 years, absolutely divinely guided. There's no ways that I could have planned the twists and turns that brought us to this point. The fact that I can now come to the UK and do two full-day workshops there, where we're talking about what we're doing and how we are bringing One Small Town to England, to the UK, to Scotland, Ireland, Wales, wherever we want to go, anywhere people want to start One Small Town, they can start the process right now. And the reason they can start it is because we have walked the talk. We have done the blood, sweat, and tears year after year, learning what doesn't work. And that brought us to creating the platform, the powerful blockchain platform that now manages everything in the One Small Town membership environment worldwide. So whether you're a member in England or Ireland or South Africa or Australia or Canada or the USA, it doesn't matter. You become a member. Where's my let me grab my little membership card. Hold on.
Yeah, go and get it.
Everybody becomes a member, and once you just go online, it takes you 2 minutes to sign up, and you get this beautiful membership card, One Small Town membership card. And this is all connected to our blockchain. All there is on the back is a QR code. That's it. And it becomes like your credit card. Now, why does it become a credit card? It's because of our central platform, our blockchain platform that manages everything. All our memberships, every time you contribute your 3 hours to a community project or one of the businesses in your town, you get an infinity token that gets dropped into your digital wallet, which is connected to your membership account. And then you can use your membership card to go and get stuff in the One Small Town store environment with your membership card. So we've created our own alternative means of exchange. It's a private membership exchange system, so it doesn't operate on open platforms. Our Infinity token is an NFT. You can't lose it. You can't. Nobody can steal it. You can't lose it. It is totally trackable and traceable because of the blockchain. So it's an incredibly safe environment. And because we don't operate on open stock markets and open stock exchanges and that, it all happens in the One Small Town blockchain environment, and you have to be a member. We're not scrutinized by the financial authorities because it's a private membership exchange mechanism, a reward system. It's a reward system. So every time you contribute 3 hours as a member for anything that is logged on the platform as an official One Small Town activity in your town, you get your Infinity token. And then you can go to the One Small Town store and you can get stuff off the shelf with your Infinity tokens. And the other thing is the One Small Town store, whatever you have at home, if you got crap that you don't want, or old clothes or a lawnmower, bicycle, a laptop, doesn't matter, and you're not using, you could take it to the One Small Town store, trade it in, get your Infinity tokens loaded onto your card, and then you can get other stuff that's on the store, whether it's jams or something else. So the One Small Town trading store has become a very important environment in which we service our members, and especially in the impoverished areas where people have nothing. They don't have a job. They live in a tin shack. They wake up every morning. They got nothing to do, no money. And the only thing that consumes them is, how am I going to survive today? How am I going to make enough money or find enough food to survive today? And that's how they start every day. Well, the moment they join One Small Town, not only can they join One Small Town, they wake up in the morning and they go to a certain project, whatever project there's going on in your town. And you arrive there, you scan your membership card with a supervisor. They sit there with their phone and the QR code reader. They scan you in. You pick up rubbish, or you help the orphans, or you clean the graveyards, or whatever, fix the potholes, community upliftment projects. Or you can go to one of our businesses, whether it's helping in the bakery or in the engineering factory, or a security guard somewhere. It doesn't matter. If you come and you scan in with your membership card, after 3 hours, you get your Infinity token. Then you can go to the community kitchen, One Small Town kitchen, and get a plate of food. Not with your token. The plate of food is complimentary. So now, from not having a job, not having any food, not having anything to do, walking around looking for mischief opportunities or to potentially steal something because you're so hungry and desperate that you eventually get to the point where you actually are prepared to steal something because you just need some food. And that's an unfortunate reality that many, many millions of people face. And so now you not only get a plate of food, you feel you have some self-respect for yourself. You have a purpose. You wake up, you go do something. You're an active contributing member of your community. You get an infinity token at the end of the week. You can go, once you've got a few tokens, you can go to the store and get stuff you need. That means every day you get a token. You can do 2 sessions. You can do 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. It means you'll get 2 plates of food, because we have a mechanism with which we find the food to supply our community kitchen, our One Small Town community kitchen, so we can feed our members when they contribute their 3 hours. So this has taken a huge amount of logistics and thinking and engineering to come up with solutions for all of these things. So we've literally built an incredibly powerful platform that serves as a solution for so many people.
Well, there's a lot of things to unpack in that. And the first thing I want to unpack for the viewers is the use of blockchain and NFT. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. That's what Michael means when it doesn't go anywhere. It's forever. And a blockchain, I have tried hard to, with my partner, Gary Keeley, teach people about crypto and stuff like that. And the fact that the blockchain is an irrefutable ledger, which is why it is the answer, I think, technologically for anything going forward. And I love about this is that I remember going to Florida about 30 years ago, and I met a guy who was setting up a local barter dollar and that was around the time I was learning about the financial system. And this is kind of the evolution of something like that, which becomes, instead of every town having their own dollars printed, this is the platform on which to do it. And once the things are established, you can grow it from there. And that would bring true wealth to a town, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And not only that, Mark, the moment it brings true wealth, it brings prosperity, it brings food security, it brings community cohesiveness. It means people take care of each other. They take care of their farms, their food storage, their businesses, because we provide our own security. Obviously, one of the cornerstones businesses is a security company. So we have what we call 4 cornerstone activities that will ensure that your One Small Town is a success. And those are your food kitchen, first of all. Once you have a One Small Town food kitchen that can serve food to our members that have contributed their 3 hours, that means we can start our projects to uplift our community, because then we can feed them a plate of food. So start a community kitchen, find a venue, make sure you can cook some food and serve the people some food. Then you can start your projects. And then we start uplifting our town. And I'll tell you, the power of seeing 10 or 20 people with their One Small Town t-shirts all doing something along the street or in a park somewhere, it attracts attention like nothing you've ever imagined. And I've been through this. I know how powerful that is. People love to see that kind of activity. They love to see other people working together, and they go, wow, who are you guys? What is this One Small Town thing? What are you doing? How does it work? Wow, it's fantastic. You're doing what? Excellent. And then you go and get a plate of food. Oh my God, I want to be part of this. How do I sign up?
Yeah.
So the moment you have a group of people doing something, that becomes your magnet for others to join. So the community kitchen is the one cornerstone. Then the One Small Town store is the other one, because that's a proper trading store. And we could literally start that with nothing, with an old barn with shelves on it. And because we generate the tokens, that means we don't have to have pounds or euros to be able to give to people. We generate them as you bring something in. The One Small Town blockchain generates it. You bring in a lawnmower, it gets evaluated. It's 10 tokens because, it's 100 pounds or whatever. We do the numbers. The system doesn't, and you log it in. It's all automated, all working on your membership card so you get credited with so many tokens. It goes on the shelf. And now you got tokens in your card, and you can get clothes or food or jam or whatever you need. It's a proper trading store in the full sense of the word, trading without having to earn pounds or euros. That's the absolute benefit. And then, sorry, Mark, sorry. And then, so those are the 2 cornerstones: is the kitchen, the trading store, the security company. We need to secure our businesses. We need to secure our farms, our silos, our food storage, our everything, and especially in countries like South Africa. And then finally, sports, arts, culture, and recreation. Make sure that we fix our sports fields. Make sure that our theaters and our halls are working and functioning. because there's so many of those places have been neglected. They're standing vandalized, and soccer fields and sports fields full of weeds not being utilized, and so forth. And the moment you have a hall where we can put musicians to work every weekend and have a little theater, we can have theatrical productions and sports fields. The moment you have those four cornerstones in place, it's very difficult to not succeed with the Once More Town initiative. You really have to screw it up not to succeed.
Sorry to interrupt the show, but I'm here in my car on a beautiful sunny day in lovely Ireland, and I just wanted to say to regular viewers of my show, you'll know that over the last 5 years I've tested probably over 1,000 different health products and modalities to try to get us through the COVID psyop, but also to help us enhance our longevity towards health sovereignty. Now, out of all the things that I've tested, there are a number of things that I use on a daily basis. And for the last 3 years, you will never see me without one of these on the back of my neck. I can't actually, if you can see it there, it's on the back of my neck. This is a Lifewave X39 patch. Well, this is actually not a patch. This is the sleeve that it comes in. This is an X39 patch, okay? This thing, you just stick on the back of your neck, and what it does is it reflects the light coming from inside your body back inside your body. So it reflects the light coming out of you back into you, but at a frequency that achieves a certain thing. They have a large range of patches that do different things, from helping you sleep better to helping you recover from pain or from exercise pain. This one in particular, the X39, is my standard thing that I wear every day, and the reason for that is because this stimulates the production inside your body of copper peptides, and copper peptides in turn stimulate stem cells. Now, I am 56 this year, and I've got more energy than my teenage kids who I'm on the way to pick up. Why is that? Well, structured clean water is part of that. A mainly carnivore diet is part of that. I do have access to things like hyperbaric oxygen and red light therapy at our healing center at live5dhealth.com, but actually I don't use them very often because I'm a workaholic. But these patches have not left my neck since I first discovered them in 2022. And I am convinced that my eyesight is better, my teeth are stronger, my arthritis has disappeared, my hair is thicker and longer. Look, there's a ponytail here. Sex drive is better. So many things are better, and I'm convinced it's because of these. If you're not convinced by me, go to theMarkAttwoodShow.com and search under Lifewave or stem cells. You'll see that I've done numerous interviews with numerous people giving their testimonies about Lifewave patches from all over the world. So go and have a look at those if you're not convinced. I'm going to put some QR codes on the screen. One is for the Lifewave patches themselves, which you can go and get online immediately. They are not the cheapest thing in the world. I do think they're actually less than a cup of coffee a day if you wore one a day, but and I understand that doesn't stretch everybody's budget, but they also represent an amazing sovereign business opportunity. You can get paid for recommending these if you try the patches and you sign up to the other QR code, which is the business opportunity page. That will put you in touch with Cheryl. Cheryl works with me in the States, and she will talk you through the process and show you how to do it. All you've got to do is share a link and give your testimony. This is the way we bypass Google, we bypass press, national TV, mainstream media to grow this business, which is currently $1 billion business. It has grown leaps and bounds since 2020 because of the need of people like us who are awake, who want to sustain themselves and get through this time period so that we can get through to ascension in one piece. That's what it's all about. Freeze the video if you need to get onto the QR codes. Go to those links now. That's all for now. I hope you enjoy this message and you enjoy Lifewave, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the show. Back to me in the studio. Okay, so a couple of questions come to mind. Firstly, the type of people that you want to come to these events in the UK. What is interesting you said, because I've noted this obviously myself over the years, that a lot of people do think the solution is, and I know people that are doing it, and I applaud them for trying it, right? But they've got clubbed together, they buy some land, and then they're going to put a building on, and they're going to have this community, and they're going to grow their own food. It doesn't usually work, and it's the same reason with our healing centers. We said it has to be run as a business. You've got to, if you don't, because we're still in this system, we're still in a system where you require these things. So you're looking for people that are excited by this idea to want to learn how to go and do it and get on with it, right? That's what we're looking for in the UK talks.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for all over the world, and we're founding people like that. One of our biggest mistakes that we've learned the hard way was just appointing ambassadors willy-nilly, just because somebody put their hand up or emailed me and said, "Hey, I love what you're doing. I'll be your ambassador in Spain or in Italy or in Germany or Brazil or England or Ireland or Wales, and America and Canada and Australia." We had at one stage we had ambassadors in more than 40 countries, just because they said, "Hey, I love what you're doing. I'll be your ambassador." So obviously we got excited, and then we started to realize, hold on, whoa, there needs to be a system. There needs to be a training. These people need to understand exactly what it is that we're doing. Not they can't just start doing a version of what we're doing, but it's their version, and then they screw everything up because they really don't get what we're doing. And we're not doing intentional communities, as you mentioned. We're not creating a piece of land, people going, grow some food on it. That's great. If you want to do that, knock yourself out. Good luck. God bless you. What I can tell you is that it might work for a year or two, but eventually it will collapse, like every other intentional community in the past has eventually collapsed. And when they do collapse, it is a catastrophic and a painful thing. People lose everything. People lose their farms, they lose their houses, they lose their cars, they lose their savings, because there is no structure. And that's why it's taken almost 2 decades to put together. So there is a structure, there's accountability, there's reporting, there's business planning. When we start growing food, farming is a very serious business, especially if you want to grow food that you want to for yourselves, but also food to sell so that you make money out of the farming. So we've had to identify, well, how do we grow food for our community while also growing food on a large scale to be able to sell food and export food and make profit out of that and make money out of it. So, and this has taken a long, long time. So, the system is incredible. It is, look, our platform and our entire system that manages everything. You just imagine the complexity of this.
Yeah.
That we manage people's NFTs online. We manage payment systems that you can go on our online One Small Town trading platform and you can sell your tokens to willing buyers. It all operates on a willing seller, willing buyer principle. Or you can send your tokens to somebody with your digital wallet. Right now, I could send you, 100 or 1,000 tokens. You just give me your One Small Town digital wallet address. I'll send you how many tokens, either as a gift, or I'm buying something from you. So you say, I'm going to sell you my car. So great. How much do you want? Oh, give me 1,000 tokens, or whatever. So I'll give you 1,000 tokens and you transfer the car into my name. Nobody even knows that I bought the car from you. You're just transferring it to me, to my name. You just understand how powerful this is. This is an incredibly powerful system that we've created here. And for the people at the lowest level that need things, they need basic things, like they need maize meal, they need corn flour to survive on African staple diet, they need flour to bake bread or potatoes or vegetables. So they need the most basics, but they don't have smartphones to be able to send their buddy in town 3 tokens and get a bag of corn flour. So that's how we created the trading store. So they can go into the trading store and get the corn flour off the shelf with their membership card, because this is their credit card.
They don't need technology to do it.
No. This is
brilliant.
the most advanced technology in the world, QR code technology. Everybody uses it, and more people are using and finding innovative ways of doing it. We have found the most innovative way of uniting our members around the world, giving them absolute flexibility in interaction, transactions, exchanging goods, buying goods, etc., etc. And it's an idea that's just gonna explode around the world once the penny drops for people. What we've built here, we've created an alternative system. If the banks had to close their doors today, we just carry on. Everybody signs up as a member of One Small Town tomorrow, and we just start interacting.
Yeah, well,
we could offer a bonus. For example, we could offer a bonus to every member. When you sign up as a member, you get 10,000 Infinity tokens for signing up. So everybody starts on the same platform. Now everybody's got something to exchange and interact. That's it. Done. Everyone's got something to exchange. Now we can trade. We can exchange. You don't have to have pounds or sterling or or yen or euros in your bank account that's going to block your account because of all kinds of bullshit legislation. So we've created something really powerful here, and infinitely more powerful than Bitcoin or any of the other cryptocurrencies. And you mentioned cryptocurrencies earlier, Mark. It's really important just to explain to people about the cryptocurrency trap. And I really beg and urge people, stop buying into the cryptocurrency scam. Please, no matter how much faith you have in some whatever cryptocurrency that you believe in, ultimately, somebody created that cryptocurrency to make money for themselves. They didn't do it for the goodwill of the people. The only global token or cryptocurrency is the Infinity token that is created specifically to benefit the members of one small town. First of all, it's not a cryptocurrency, it's an NFT, and it's an asset-backed token. There is no other token like it in the world. You have to contribute 3 hours of your time to make that token appear in your digital wallet. So no one can ever stop you or prevent you from earning your tokens. As long as our towns are going, we're doing things for ourselves, and we keep earning our own tokens that we can then trade and exchange. Yeah, very powerful system.
Yeah, my view with crypto is that it's kind of pragmatic to do some trading to get people into situations where they're not in poverty. And one of the other things, without being married to the idea, because it's just a thing there at the moment that can help people. But the other thing that I'm going to try to answer, I'm going to try to ask you some questions that I think the viewers might be saying to the screen. The thing like you mentioned about the food, I totally love that. I'm thinking about it in terms of like this country in particular. One of the things that I've been saying on this podcast since I started is that we have to learn to stop suckling on the nipple of the state. And one of the things they're very good at here is giving people a lot of money to not work. But underneath that, I also know in this town, there are food banks for people because all the rents have gone up in the last few years. So this money's not going anywhere near as far. But you are effectively, when you start something like this, you are competing with community initiatives run by government agencies, and you're competing with free handouts of cash. How do you see that working? How do you see that taking over from that?
Well, that's going to be a matter of people realizing that they're being, they're slaves on a leash, literally. When people realize that they're just being handled by the government, and people aren't stupid, and also starting their own businesses. One Small Town is all about starting our own businesses so that we make profit, and the profit is ours. So the government can't cut it off, because once you have a laptop factory and a cornflake factory, or dairy and a bakery, whatever, what you could do, anything that you and your community decide to do. Okay, write the business plan. If it makes sense to find funding and investment for a business plan that shows a good ROI, is easy. That's not difficult. You know that, but you have to have a good business plan. And because we as the community contribute our 3 hours, it makes it more attractive to the investors, because they don't have a labor cost to pay, a labor bill to pay, because we are the workers that work in their new business that they're funding. We own 60% of it. The investor owns 30% of it, but they make more profit because they don't have a monthly labor bill like any other company trying to do the same thing that we're doing. So it's just going to be a matter of time. Ireland, I guess, is a unique kind of place because of the handouts by the government, and it's obviously very strategically a totalitarian move to get the people totally dependent on the government until they have nothing. They have nothing of their own. They've created nothing. They're doing nothing. They've got no businesses, no companies, no farming, nothing, and the government controls everything. People aren't stupid. I think they're going to realize very quickly, and all it's going to take is one town that does this reasonably successfully. It doesn't have to be completely successful. It can just be the initial successful stage of it, and that's going to create the domino effect that everyone's going to want. For the reason that it's going to give people the freedom to do what they want and not be dependent on the government or the state or a large corporation that gives you a job. So my message to young people everywhere is, if you think you're going to go out and find a job, you're dreaming. Jobs are very, very scarce, especially here in Africa. All right. And it's becoming the same all over the world. So we can't we can't expect young people to finish matric and finish college and university. Now they have a piece of paper in their hand and they go looking for a job. Are you freaking crazy? How do you think you're going to get a job? Where? Economies are not growing. Economies are stagnating. Everything is falling apart. The small towns are falling apart all over the world. And this is why we bring back the purpose to the people in one small town. And especially once the young people realize that, hey, we can plan and start our own businesses in our own town that we own. So we don't have to go into the city looking for a job, because in small towns, there are no jobs, right? That's why everybody flees the small towns. They go to the city and then they get stuck there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having these conversations with my kids all the time. But so let's say, for example, we did one small town here, and the local cafe owner says to me, "Oh, I want to do this. How do I get involved with a pre-existing business that's in the system already? How would they get into it? How would that work?"
Yeah, look, that's one of the frequently asked questions. So let me say first up front, the whole idea of one small town is not to compete with people with existing businesses. It's really important that we're looking at starting businesses that are big, that need labor, hands-on labor, packaging, farming, sorting, picking fruits, and things that if we have 1,000 members, those people need to do something every week. So we need businesses where you need hands-on. So to look at a little cafe to become one small town cafe, that is not our objective. So we have a solution for that, but I'd rather not even focus on that, because I want people to focus on, think out of the box, right? What kind of business can we start that we can put, 500 people or 1,000 people or 100 people a week to work? They need to do something. First of all, we can start by fixing our town, fixing the streets and so forth. And this is where it becomes really important that you are part of a community initiative like this, which is a community initiative, what you call it, a private membership association, this kind of thing, where people belong as members to this, because then you can take on a resistant council, or somebody, council, or a mayor or a municipality that doesn't want to play ball. You can take them on from a very simple legal perspective. And but I don't want to go down this rabbit hole either, because I want people to see the positive side of it and realize that we have the solutions. And there are legal ways that you can get things done without getting legalese, just by writing a few, the odd letter here and there to make sure that you've covered the legal thing. So what we're doing with One Small Town is we're not operating outside of the legal system or outside of this. We're operating within the legal system. So what we do is we use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. That's one of our favorite slogans. Yeah. So we pay the taxes. The companies are registered properly according to the country's legislative and corporate structure legislation. So we don't break the law. We don't want to fight the system. We want to use the system so that it can work for us. And the platform gives us that very powerful tool. If you had to go and try and recreate what we've got with the One Small Town platform, it'll cost you probably £20,000 a month just to have what we've got, to rent it, to lease it, to be able to run your businesses, from just everything you can imagine, from online store to distribution systems to our token distribution, your digital wallet, everything imaginable. It's an incredibly powerful system.
No, it's extraordinary. So what people watching this who can't come to the talks in the UK, what do you want them to do? Well,
first of all, everybody watching this, just go online, sign up as a member. You don't have to do anything. Just go to onesmalltown.org, click on become a member, and fill in the form. So what'll happen, you click on become a member, that takes you to the platform. If you click on that, that'll take you to the platform, and you click on become a member again, because now you're entering the secure environment, the blockchain. So you're literally becoming a member of One Small Town, and you're creating an account on the blockchain, on the platform. And that's it. And once you're a member, then you can log into your account and you can see all the different options that you have. You can check your digital wallet. You can see how to buy Infinity tokens. You can check out our brand new technology token that will bring rewards and benefits to people that buy the tokens. Because by buying the token, you're literally funding the technologies that we're developing, and we've got a whole reward system built in for token holders, technology token holders. So once again, we bypass the financial systems and all that by offering our members, by using crowdfunding systems, offering our members rewards for holding the tokens within the One Small Town initiative, without having to create shareholding and shares and all this kind of crap that it drives you nuts. So we've found different ways of doing this that all falls within a private membership organization and association, and the protections that come along with that. So there you can see. You just fill in the details. It asks you for a photograph. You don't even have to upload a photograph at this stage. It might ask you later, once you want to start doing certain things, it might ask you to upload a photograph. Remember, you're entering a very secure environment. So we want to make sure that we can verify who the person is, verify who the member is, because we've got to be very serious about this. And it's like a bank. Like, we got to make sure that we have real people and we don't have bots and infiltrators and people pretending to be somebody else. So.
And what kind of team do you have running this, Michael? Was they all down in South Africa, or you're all over the place?
Our main team is in South Africa. We have a very strong team in the UK. Julia Buttray in England, who's our UK ambassador, British Isles ambassador, and Michael Chamberlain also up there. So they'll be with me at the events in Buxton and in what is the other town? Sorry,
I can't remember either.
Buxton and oh my goodness, I don't want to insult the people now.
No, it's Dorking in Surrey.
Dorking, yes, in Buxton and Dorking. So they'll be with me and also presenting from a British perspective. So it's not just me talking about a global vision, global perspective, and it becomes very much an English, UK, British Isle focused approach. How can we launch One Small Town in England, in the UK? What are the steps? And literally, we have a very strict we have a very strict protocol for people who want to become ambassadors, because that's the one biggest lesson we've learned. So, if you want to become an ambassador of a town or a country, we put you through quite a strenuous screening process, and I realized that was our biggest downfall. We just by appointing people because they put their hand up, it was a major problem. So now we expect the ambassadors, or people who want to be ambassadors, to have a very business-minded kind of background. It's like a CEO. Just imagine the ambassador of a town is ultimately going to be responsible for the activities of a community that is running 100 or 200 businesses that could be turning over £1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Okay, now it might come as a shock. So let me give you some numbers just to make you realize how big this thing is. And people often think, oh, One Small Town, because it's got the word small in it. They don't realize we're doing something huge. To start 100 businesses in a town is very, very simple. If you start with growing food, you can already probably tick off 30 or 40 businesses, maybe more. When you start growing food and the packaging of the food and what can you do with corn flour? You can do this and that and that and that and all the different products with corn flour. What can you do with flour, bread and bakery and all that kind of stuff? With the dairies and engineering and technology and bicycles and God knows what. It's like to start 100 businesses is not that difficult. If you have a town with 4,000 members, you're in essence equivalent to a company of 4,000 employees around the world. And you can argue that our people only contribute so many hours a week, but there's other arguments for it. So a company with 4,000 employees around anywhere in the world generates a minimum of $1 billion per annum profit. $1 billion, 4,000 employees. This is insane. So we, by employing the One Small Town initiative, if you have 4,000 members and you're not turning over £1 billion a year, you're doing something wrong. Let that sink in. Like, really, I really want people to think about this. Because if you're running a company of 4,000 employees, if you're not doing £1 billion a year profit, you're going under. And every successful company with those kind of employees are making insane profits. We've got the benefit that we don't have to pay our employees. We're the employees. We're contributing our time for free. And again, if people say, "Oh, but now you're going to have problems with labor and all this," no, this is not a job. Nobody is employing me. I'm a co-owner of that business. I'm a shareholder in that company. I'm contributing my time willingly to the benefit of my company because I wanted to profit, make bigger profits. That's why I'm volunteering my time. So we don't have any problems with labor departments and that kind of stuff. So believe me, we've been through this over and over again. We've covered every imaginable problem that you're going to think of. It's been done, taken care of, and that's why the time has come.
Yeah, and getting that across to people and letting these pennies drop is the purpose of this show, hopefully. But I think that it's taken me a lot. It's like when you first step outside the system. And I think I first told a bailiff to go away about 15 years ago. But I remember the fear. I was terrified, and it was like I said, "I refute your implied right of entry. Please leave." And then when he left, I was like, "Oh my God, it works." But it's these steps that we tried to teach people about private members associations last year, and even 4 weeks into the course, people were saying, "What do I tell my accountant?" And we were telling them to bugger off. You don't need an accountant. It's like, these are mental shifts, and you've been at it for so long that it's like, get the next step is now getting enough people to understand it and then experience it, because it's like you said, if you see people on the streets with the shirts on and stuff, it's going to go, "What are you doing? What's going on?" And I know that just from seeing people here doing different bits and bobs. But if they see it and then they see the success of it, they're going to gravitate towards it, and then it's just going to explode, isn't it?
It's just we're so close to exploding now. So also with our technology, we got our new recycling technology that's about to explode around the world. The machine that we developed is unique. There's nothing like it in the world. We can deal with all the plastic, all the rubber dumping in the world. We have a solution for it. So I can tell you right now, categorically, we have a solution for all the plastic waste and all the rubber waste in the world. So there should be no dumping of any of this ever again. All of this is totally recyclable and turned into various products that come from those materials. And those products are mostly in the energy sector and in the building industries and so forth. So it provides so many solutions on so many levels. It's crazy. So in essence, this technology is going to become the funding stream for many of the One Small Town activities. And it's literally happening as we speak. So we're about to start mass producing these machines and start sharing them with our ambassadors in different countries, which becomes the cash cow for that One Small Town initiative in that country. So the head office has got funding, and then from there we can start funding various projects in certain towns so that they get their business plans together and their cornerstone projects together, and literally just get this thing off the ground. The moment you have a small success, it changes everything. However, you ask, so what are we looking for people to come to these events in the UK, in England? We're looking for people who are serious about One Small Town, who's serious about starting something and doing something. We have various ways of entry, various entry levels. So there's the big one with the ambassador and the business plans and the 2-year plan. What are we going to do in our town? Put a team together, etc. Then there's a low level plan, which is the community upliftment projects. So there you just need a community leader, community coordinator, because we're not doing businesses for profits. We are doing things that normally cost money and you need to pay people to do it. We're going to do it ourselves without payment because we want to fix our town. In return, we earn our own tokens that we get benefits from in our own One Small Town store and our community kitchens for those who are hungry and homeless or whatever. That applies to certain countries and not so much to other countries. So there are two levels of entry. we've now identified a third way to potentially launch One Small Town, a very, very low level entry, and that's starting a One Small Town store. And in the UK, we're busy molding it around the community hub, the community center or community hub, which is a cafe, potentially a small bakery, some books and a bookshop, and people come sit there, they do their work, go and meet and greet. Then you can have some art hanging on the walls. We could have all kinds of stuff, health products, etc. So this could become the prototype of what ultimately becomes a One Small Town trading store. But because it's run as a business, it makes profit, and that profit is then used to first of all pay the salaries, because people need to pay, the manager needs to be paid. So you pay the salaries and so forth. But then the rest of the profit is used to buy product and produce for the shelves. So once our members start to contribute their 3 hours a day or a week, they've got to go and use their tokens and be able to get something. And that completes that cycle. So now we got product on the shelf that's paid for by ourselves, by our own businesses, that our members can go and get because they've contributed their 3 hours, and they have infinity tokens in their One Small Town credit card, because you can literally call it a credit card.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. So we're very close to fine-tuning that approach for the UK, and I know that Michael and Julia are very excited about it, because it sounds from what I've heard that the community hubs have become very sort of trendy and go-to places, especially in the smaller communities.
Yeah, I had a good chat with Julia the other week, and it does sound exciting what's going over there. Questions regarding if a business, if this trading store is within as a limited company within the system, what if I'm asking this because I've experienced it myself. What if I wanted to start selling something like raw milk, which they won't let you sell here without, they'll come and knock at your door and that kind of thing. How do we bypass that kind of thing? Because for me, something like that is fundamental to health, and you get closed down if you sell it. It's really annoying.
So this is why the One Small Town membership comes in. We're not the One Small Town community hub doesn't operate on money. You operate on a membership card. You come in. And you come in and you want to become a member of this community hub. You sign up as a member at the entrance, at the desk, customer service. Takes you a minute to sign up. They give you a membership card. You go and enjoy yourself. You load it with money, and that money gets converted into tokens, and then you get stuff with tokens. So you sign up as a member, and then you're literally buying tokens so that you can then use the tokens in our community private membership community store. So I don't know what the laws are like in the UK with raw milk and that kind of stuff. I know in South Africa it's not a problem. So, and many countries it's not a problem. So those kind of things are dealt with easily. But once again, this is why we work with smart people and with people like you, and people that know how to use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. Find ways around it. Find a way that we can say, well, we're not selling the raw milk. The raw milk is there for people to help themselves to. I don't know. We will find ways to beat the system.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Out of all the people I've watched over the years, I know that you're top of that list, because it's a hell of a system. Can I ask you, because I've got you on the show, what's your view on what's going on a sort of geopolitical level worldwide at the moment? Where do you think we're at? Because it's been such an incredible 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. I know Europe seems to have been completely and utterly infiltrated by the globalists and the communists, the European Parliament, European Union, or whatever it's called. We've got a few people like Viktor Orban in Hungary, and some of the what have been labeled the right-wing extremist parties in France and Germany, Slovakia. So there are a few people that are standing out and standing in opposition and digging their heels against the globalists. And my feeling is, thank God for those. Otherwise, Europe would be long gone and completely infiltrated by the communist and Marxist philosophy. And it's they're so clever. They're so good at this. The whole World Economic Forum stuff. It's a mess. It's a mess, and exactly for this reason, the sooner we can get one small town become a success, just one little town that becomes a light of a shining beam of hope for people, you're not going to be able to stop it. You are not going to be able to stop it, because people, it's going to create like a quantum exponential domino effect. The moment people see that it works, and those people in that town are getting these benefits and these benefits, and this is how they working together, these are the businesses they started, my God, they're turning over £100,000 a month, or 200 or £1 million a month, whatever it is. That's what you need to see. Success stories. One small success story that I call the Cinderella one small town. And that Cinderella is going to infect every other small town with the same kind of enthusiasm. It's just gonna be a thing of beauty and great joy to see that happening. And once that happens, Mark, that's when you got the power going into the hands of the people at the grassroots levels. When you've got every town in a country that's rushing to become a part of One Small Town initiative, because everything is there. There's nothing holding anybody back. Okay, everybody, we can literally start it today. Everyone can participate. Once that starts, then the power transitions into the hands of the people, and it's going to be more and more difficult for the totalitarian dictators to get away with what they've been getting away with, and hopefully reverse that situation very quickly.
Yeah, I think it was you that taught me, without realizing it, there were three things all the ancient texts and religious texts have in common: serpents, gold, and slavery.
Yeah.
So this is getting rid of two of those problems. What about the serpents? I mean, your work with the ancient history as well, you said at the beginning, it informs all of this. Do you want to share what you've learned in a nutshell for people who are not familiar with it? Because I think it was through you that I discovered the Anunnaki and the gold mining and all of that, and what that was for. And that is informing what's going on in the world right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really dangerous path that I'm on, because some people know nothing about the ancient civilizations, and they get very scared and very nervous when you start talking about that. And when you start, especially when you start talking about Anunnaki and this and that and all that dark, the deep dark stuff, people aren't ready for that. They want a better world. They want one small town, but they don't necessarily want to worry and embrace all that stuff from the past, because it scares them, and they might not believe it. So I've had to tread very carefully as to how far do I push the ancient civilizations narrative, and I've had to censor myself, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I've had to censor myself at times not to say certain things, because I don't want to alienate the people who want a better future for themselves, their families, their children. That knowledge will come, and it'll be a lot easier to digest that knowledge and that information. Once we have freedom, once our communities are free, once our towns are free, we have almost autonomy or sovereignty of our own towns in a way. Because once this happens, there's going to be a whole shift of control and government control in that. And that's a whole nother thing. But I don't want to talk about that, because then you're putting up red flags, and we don't want governments to get in our way, because we're not fighting anyone. We're starting businesses. We're starting as many businesses as we can to make as much profit as we can.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we know by now that money talks and bullshit walks. Now, imagine if every small town in England is generating £100 million a year, and they all work together. It's like, who's going to stop them?
Yeah. Well, that's really the way I mean, ultimately, that's government becomes defunct when that happens, right?
That's it. Because once you got money and you got support, because once the small towns come up, they all connected to each other. They all become part of the same family, the English family, and that becomes part of the European family, becomes part of the global family. And if you want to leave England and go to Australia for a year, you fly to Australia, you go and pull into a small town somewhere on the beautiful East Coast there in Australia, And you pull into the town and you realize, oh, this is a one small town. It's excellent. You go to the one small town office and say, hi, I'm Michael. I'm from South Africa. I'm going to be here for the next 12 months. And they go, wow, welcome, Michael. They scan my card. They know exactly who I am, what I've contributed to my community, what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. And I say, wow, I see you're a great baker, or you're a great engineer, or this and that. Wow, engineering factory will be very happy to have you, etc. And then they scan me in, and all I have to do is contribute my 3 hours a week and get all the benefits from that town that I would get from my own town. Just think about the power of this.
No, I am.
This is
It's extraordinary.
unbelievable. Yeah.
And you said it. You said at the beginning it was divinely guided. From a spiritual perspective, explain that to the viewers. I mean, majority of my audience are familiar with this. In case it gets seen by anybody outside of that, where do you feel we're at spiritually in this spiritual war?
We're at very close to the apex and the crescendo of the spiritual war, the good against evil, if you want to call it that, because the dark evil forces they're everywhere. They literally are everywhere. It is, this world that we're in is so corrupt. It is so dark. It is so evil that the average person on the street has no ability to comprehend the depths of the corruptedness, the evil, the worshipping of demonic creatures, the rituals, the sacrifice, the blood sacrifices, the sacrificing and the eating of babies. I mean, I feel toxic even saying it.
Yeah.
And we're so close to breaking that spell. I believe that spell has been broken already. I believe we've in a parallel spiritual realm, if you want to believe in that or not. I believe we have won this war already. The good guys have won.
Yeah.
And this is why. This is, I believe, why the dark side, the globalists and the communist infiltrators and all that, why they're screaming and fighting so hard. And this is why, because they're screaming and fighting so hard because they know that they're losing this battle. And I believe we're so close now. And One Small Town is a very powerful tool to just fly in under the radar and let the people in millions of towns around the world take control of their own power, their own destiny for their towns. Make sure they've got enough food security, food storage, seeds, silos, milk, cheese, bread, food, corn, whatever the hell you need to do. Once you've got food security and water security, and you can earn, you can generate your own energy, and you've got your community standing together, it's very difficult to break that.
100%. I think I first learned that in Passport to Pimlico. Did you ever see that film?
No, I did not. No.
You need to look that up. It's an Ealing comedy from the 50s where a guy sets up Pimlico as its own state. It's quite funny. So a lot of people are trying to do this, but it's the mechanisms and the absolute essential nature of having to feed people and have some kind of mechanism of exchange coming through an organization to make it work. And I think that's what you've, through a lot of hard work and with a lot of help from a lot of amazing people, you've managed to do here. And I'm going to put all the links below this video for everybody. If you're in the UK, go and see Michael in person, right? It's going to be amazing. And you probably you're going to get a bit packed out in that place. I've been there. I've done the talk in Buxton. That'll be a great day. I wish I could be there. And the other one in Dorking. And if not, even if you can't make it to those, and whatever, I mean, this is open to anybody in the world as well. Go to the website One Small Town and become a member.
That's it. So what I'd like to say, Mark, what we've created is, do you remember the excitement when Bitcoin was first released?
Yeah.
I was crazy. I thought, wow, this is amazing. Finally, there's an alternative means of exchange that is not controlled by the government or the banks, that we can exchange and do things. And people started doing that. I would send emails and invoices saying, I accept payment in Bitcoin. And people would say, I accept. So I would pay people in Bitcoin and vice versa. And then I lost my wallet. I had about 3 Bitcoins on it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I lost it. And then I realized, oh my God, this is a mess.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Bitcoin, 9 years later or whatever, or 10 years later, it started to become this commodity that people were sourcing, and they weren't paying in Bitcoin anymore. Now suddenly it became, instead of a means of exchange, it becomes a means of enrichment.
Yep.
So We have stepped in with the Infinity token where Bitcoin failed us.
Mhm.
It should have been the global means of exchange that is private, personal, between people. The Infinity token does exactly that, and it does it in a private membership association as an NFT. No one can, whatever you.
We've lost you for a second. I
Yeah.
paused it. You're back. Carry on. Sorry.
All right. So
Good.
I was saying that you can't lose your wallet. You can't lose your flash drive with all your coins on it because it's in a membership account on a blockchain. It's there forever, right? So literally, think of the Infinity token. It replaces what Bitcoin was promising to be and never became. It let us all down dramatically. Start, go online, sign up as a.
Sorry about the signal. I
So
think it is. I think it is. I
yeah,
think we're in the middle of saying, go online, become a member, have a look, have a good look around, and start have a really good look around so the pennies drop. And once the pennies drop, start taking action.
yeah, but then also go into your digital wallet and you'll see your wallet there, right, on your screen, and you'll see buy Infinity tokens. Click on buy and subscribe to buying like 10 tokens a month or something. So it starts piling up in your digital wallet because there'll come a time that you'll be happy you've got them. And
Yeah.
then when you send out invoices to people, put at the bottom, I accept payment in Infinity tokens, the way we used to do with Bitcoin. And people start going, oh, wow, this is what is Infinity token. They go check, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that very soon, you as a professional that can work online across the world as an architect or an accountant or anyone that can do virtual work, we'll have a system. We're about to launch that where I can offer my architectural services to you in Australia or in the UK, and you'll pay me in tokens. For every 3 hours, I get one token. So I'm going to design a house for you. It's going to take me 12 hours. So I'm going to earn 12 tokens from you. You pay
Um,
me in tokens, and that's done. All done
yeah.
on the
Well,
platform. Yeah.
I did hang out with a guy called John Matonis a few years back, who was one of the economists that got the anonymous email from Satoshi in 2009. And he stood there in the pub one day and he said, I've got more money than God. I have no idea what to do with it. And that's the interesting thing about that whole crypto world, is it just attracted all this gun running, dark web stuff, child trafficking stuff, because it was created or used for evil. I don't subscribe to the idea of the mediums being evil themselves, but the the kind of way that works. It's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. And I'm also interested to know if the Infinity token is in a closed loop blockchain system. How will the value of that be measured compared to what's going on in the outside world with
Yeah.
fiat money?
Yeah. So this is really important for people to understand. It's the token wasn't created as a means of enrichment. So it's not traded on stock market. It's not the price doesn't fluctuate. The price is it's a stable token.
Stable, yeah,
It's pitched against 3 hours of labor. So
yeah,
it's because we're selling it in the US dollar on a US dollar basis. And every country will align itself with its own, currencies and so forth. And we got a very simple system for that. I don't want to go into details, but it's really, really simple.
yeah.
But because we're dealing with dollars, so we worked on what is the minimum wage per hour in dollars, and what's the maximum wage in dollars average, and we averaged it out. And 3 hours of labor is equivalent to about $40 in the USA. That's when we launched it. So it's pitched at 3 hours at one Infinity tokens. Optimal value is $40, but we launched it at $1. So we launched 24 million tokens as seed capital. Once those 24 million tokens are sold, they sold. That means we got no more tokens as seed capital to help set up Once More Town. But tokens continue. For every time in your community you contribute 3 hours, you earn your tokens. So we keep earning tokens. There's just going to be no more tokens available to buy from as seed capital tokens. So get them now while you still can. And the more people sign up, the algorithm is set up so that when we have 40,000 members contributing 3 hours a week, the value of the token is going to be $40. So that's the algorithm to which it's connected.
Hmm.
And it's very simple, easy to explain to somebody so they can see it's not a scam. It's not me deciding what the token is worth. Some people have been saying that kind of crazy
Yeah.
stuff. It's a beautiful system. And that's it. So eventually the token should be sitting at $40, but it's not $40 because you want to try and sell it, because you're going to be using it. We're using the tokens. So, right. So it's
Well,
connected to real sweat equity. And that's why, as a final statement, we have an asset-backed private membership community reward system called the Infinity Token. Get in on it now.
perfect. Brilliant. Thanks for sharing all that. I know you've got a meeting to go to. I hope that goes well. I hope the UK trip goes fantastic. And you guys watching, go to onesmalltown.org. Go and have a look. Get involved. I'm going to get involved. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, Michael.
Excellent, Mark. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing everybody in England.
Cheers. Take care.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
Are you looking for amazing retreats in Ireland?
Let us help you become the best version of you in a matter of days.
Ireland is a wonderful place to retreat from the world and find some inner peace.
It is a deeply historic and spiritual country, and nothing can inspire the soul more than the stunning west of Ireland.
We have chosen the historic town of Boyle in County Roscommon to build our state-of-the-art clinic, Live5D Health, nestled along the beautiful Boyle River.
Our centre combines a range of therapies that cannot be found under one roof anywhere else in Ireland.
These therapies need to be experienced on a daily basis over a number of days to truly feel the incredible, powerful effects.
So we have put together a fabulous package for people from across the world who are looking to truly reinvigorate their health and mental well-being. Full details of itineraries, dates and costs can be found when you join our retreats email waiting list on live5dhealth.com. Our total wellness retreats use the stunning Frybrook House, only a 2-minute walk across the bridge from our centre, as your base for a range of daily therapies in our EMF protected and energetically harmonious centre.
Our activities and therapies include a wide range of truly healthy breakfast, lunch and dinner options provided by Frybrook House and Boyle's best chefs, under our strict guidance on the provenance of ingredients and their nutritional value.
A daily morning yoga session,
Red light therapy in the most advanced red light bed in Ireland to activate the mitochondria in your cells, help weight loss, reverse aging, stimulate collagen and relax every cell.
pulsed electromagnetic field therapy to harmonize your electromagnetic field, strengthen your cell walls, and stimulate circulation and healing.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy or exercise with oxygen therapy to detoxify and feed your cells with this essential healing nutrient on a level you've never experienced before.
A session in our luxury sauna overlooking the Boyle River.
The world's cleanest water steam room. Our water is vigorously cleaned and harmonized with nature.
Immersive light and sound therapies, including the only Roxiva and soundbed combination in Ireland, aided by the only holographic sound system in Ireland. Has to be experienced to be believed.
Quantum healing in our Orinoco healing pod. Profound spiritual experiences await you here, especially if you are an experienced meditator, but also amazing if you are not.
Daily hydrogen and Brown's gas sessions to help your body rejuvenate itself with the fundamental building blocks of the universe.
Provision of clean, structured and mineralized hydrogen water for you to consume throughout the retreat, with the inclusion of a hamper containing our best supplements.
A final night dinner with our founders, Mark Attwood and Gary Keeley, and the Live5D team at a stunning Irish castle.
These treatments are all well-established foundations, especially if you are chronically ill.
Or just want to enhance your being and give your body and soul the best treat you could possibly give it.
There is a lot of information on our website about all of them, so we do encourage you to look around and do your own research on the benefits before applying to come on a retreat with us.
They are also cumulative. That is, if you experience them over multiple days, the effects are enhanced.
Of course, we're not only offering these incredible therapies on our retreats.
We want you to have a fully immersive Irish experience as we are nestled in and amongst some of the most incredible sacred sites and landscapes on Earth.
Many know of Ireland's mystical past, being connected to Egypt, Atlantis and Lemuria.
And our centre is only a few minutes from the wild Atlantic coast,
Queen Maev's tomb,
the mystical and powerful Carrickeel,
and the caves of Kesh, among many other places of great interest.
We will make excursions to many of these on your visit, as well as a choice from some of these local delights.
A seaweed bath in the coastal town of Inishgrone. Built in 1912, these traditional seaweed baths are famous for their high concentration of iodine, which relieves all sorts of ailments from arthritis to rheumatism.
A seaside sauna and sea swim at Ross's Point. Our sauna is fabulous, but we will also take you to the charming and picturesque town of Ross's Point, where you will be able to swim safely in the sea, set against the spectacular backdrop of Benbulben.
A stunning canoe trip along the rivers of County Sligo. Very gentle exercise where you will see how the rivers of Ireland can be like the rivers of Africa, with the almost guaranteed inclusion of kingfishers.
A flight in a light aircraft across the township of Boyle, where you will experience the local lakes and mountains from a unique perspective.
A boat tour of Lough Key, our local lake which features multiple islands, a castle in the lake frequented by W.B. Yeats, an alleged interdimensional portal, and many tales of UFO sightings. Trips to the local organic markets and farms, a traditional Irish music evening in a thatched pub, a lunch boat tour on the mighty River Shannon. Our retreats run throughout the seasons of the year and are strictly limited in numbers.
So please fill out the form on live5dhealth.com today and get on the waiting list.
Are you spiritually protected? Are you wearing the armor of God? Are you prepared against the principalities of darkness that currently wreak havoc in our world? Spiritual warfare is a very real thing. Weapons of Mass Protection is the explosive and practical 5-star best-selling book from authors Abby Wynn and Mark Attwood, who both agree that humanity is in the midst of the biggest spiritual awakening in human history. If you feel like things ain't what they seem, if you feel you are under attack, get your weapons ready now. Weapons of Mass Protection. Practical tools for spiritual warfare. Out now.